Hello, this is topic 3-2 on solving inequalities. Just want to remind that when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to switch the inequality. This is a very important rule whenever you're solving inequalities. So, we're going to go ahead and work on this one. We have x over 28 is less than or equal to 6 over 7. Well, I want to get the x by itself. That means the 28 is in the way. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 28. And so what I wind up with is that x less than or equal to, because this was not negative or positive, and then I do 6/7 times 28, and I get 24. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put 0 on my number lines, just so I've got a base notice. And then I'm going to go ahead and put 24 on here. Now, this says less than or equal to. That means that 24 gets a nice big dot. And going less than, well, is 0 less than 24? Yes. And so I'm going to shade in the less than direction. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. We have negative 8p greater than or equal to negative 32. In order to get p by itself, we need to divide both sides by a negative 8. Well, those cancel, leaving me with p, and then negative 32 divided by negative 8 is 4. And because this was negative, I have to flip the sign. Alright? That's because of the negative 8. So we're going to go ahead and come over here. We're going to put 0 and 4. And this says that p is less than 4. So that means I need to go this way. Just double check. If I do negative 8 times 0, I get 0, and 0 is greater than negative 32. So it's true up here as well as it is true down here. And so I shade towards 0 on less than. Moving on to example number 3. I have negative 2 is less than y plus 6. Well, I need to get rid of this 6. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. I get that negative 8 is less than y. Or I'm going to go ahead and flip it around. And that gives me that y is greater than negative 8. Go ahead and put 0. Put negative 8. Now if y is greater than negative 8, well 0 is greater than negative 8, so I know I'm going to shade this way. Negative 8 is less than 0, so I'm going to shade towards the 0. And up here, 0 plus 6, negative 2 is less than 6, so I'm going to shade towards 0. All three of these, I'm shading towards 0, just so I'm making sure I didn't make a mistake in my math earlier. Alright? And here we go. Now, this is an open circle because, this one would be closed, because this does not have an equals bar. This was closed because it did. Moving on to our next example. We're getting into things that are more than just one step. And so my first thing is I need to get all of my r's to one side. Well, I like to have my variables on the left when I'm dealing with inequalities. So regardless of what these numbers are, I'm going to go ahead and move my variables to the left. So I'm going to subtract 5r from both sides. That gives me a negative 3r minus 18 is less than or equal to 3. Well, get my regular numbers to the other side. Go ahead and add 18. Negative 3r less than or equal to 21. And now I divide both sides by negative 3. Okay, I need to flip the signs because of the negative 3. And so it's greater than or equal to negative 7. 0, negative 7. Because of the equals bar, I shade it in. And 0 is larger than negative 7. So I'm going to shade toward 0, going to the right for greater than. On to example number 5. First thing I need to do is distribute 7a less than 3 plus 7a minus 7. I can combine like terms. 7a less than 7a minus 4. Subtract 7a. 0 less than negative 4. I'm going to go ahead and put 0 and put negative 4. However, my variable has disappeared. And I'm looking at, is 0 less than negative 4? Well, no, 0 is bigger than negative 4. And so this is false, which means that there is no solution. I drew my line the wrong way through that 0. And so I don't shade anything on my line because nothing works. Moving on to example number 6. Again, we start off by distributing. Negative 5x minus 15 less than negative 5x plus 1. Move my variables to the other side. I get that negative 15 is less than 1. Well, that's true. If I put 0, and then 1, and then negative 15, this is true. Negative 15 is less than 1. So what that means is we have all real numbers. And when that happens, we shade the entire line. Now, we go ahead and move on to our last example, number 7. I'm going to distribute that. I'm going to distribute the minus 2. I'm going to distribute that 5. So this gives me 5k plus 20 minus 2k minus 12 greater than 5k plus 5 minus 1. And now I combine like terms. 5k minus 2k is 3k. 20 minus 12 is a positive 8. 5 minus 1 is 4, so it would be 5k plus 4. Again, I want to always move my variables to the left when I have an inequality. Helps me to know which direction to shade. So I have a negative 2k plus 8 greater than 4. Subtract 8 from both sides. 2k is greater than negative 4. Sorry, negative 2k greater than negative 4. Divide both sides by negative 2. I get k, 2, and my sign has to flip. And it flips because of the negative 2. So I'm going to put 0 and 2. Open circle because it is less than. and then I need to shade to the left. And so that is how we solve inequalities. Just same as solving a regular equation, with the only exception being that rule that if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip your sign. Good luck on your assignment and have a good day.